Understanding attachment theory and its role in relationships. Attachment theory, a groundbreaking psychological model developed by John Bowlby in 1969, offers profound insights into how we form relationships and how those relationships impact our emotional well-being throughout life. Bowlby proposed that early childhood experiences, particularly those with caregivers, shape the way we approach relationships in adulthood. The emotional bonds formed with caregivers in infancy become templates for future connections. Bowlby's theory initially focused on how children bond with their primary caregivers and the types of attachment behaviors that emerge based on the responsiveness of the caregiver. Over time, attachment theory has expanded to encompass adult relationships, shedding light on why some individuals feel secure and comfortable in relationships, while others may struggle with anxiety, avoidance, or a blend of both. The attachment system is activated during the first 5 years of a child's life, a period when children are highly vulnerable and reliant on their caregivers. How caregivers respond to the child's needs during distress, whether the caregiver is emotionally present, attentive, and consistent, affects the child's emotional development and their approach to relationships later in life. At the heart of attachment theory is the concept of the secure base, a caregiver who is emotionally attuned to the child's needs and provides comfort during moments of distress helps the child develop a sense of safety and security. This secure base allows children to explore their environment with confidence, knowing that they can return to their caregiver for comfort and support when necessary. When caregivers are inconsistent, unavailable, or neglectful, however, children develop insecure attachment styles, which can result in anxiety, avoidance, or a mix of both. These early relational patterns don't just disappear when we grow up. They shape how we approach intimacy, trust, and conflict in adult relationships. The 4 main attachment styles. As attachment theory evolved, psychologists identified 4 main attachment styles that describe how individuals interact with others, especially in romantic relationships. These attachment styles can serve as roadmaps for understanding the underlying reasons for certain relationship dynamics. Let's delve deeper into these 4 styles and how they manifest in adulthood. Secure attachment. Individuals with a secure attachment style generally had caregivers who were consistently available, emotionally responsive, and attuned to their needs. These individuals develop a healthy sense of self-worth and trust in others. They feel comfortable with intimacy and are able to balance emotional closeness with independence. In romantic relationships, people with secure attachment styles are emotionally available, empathetic, and communicate their needs effectively. They are able to handle conflict with calmness and mutual respect and tend to trust their partners. They also know how to set healthy boundaries and practice self-care. Securely attached individuals feel confident in their own abilities and rarely feel overwhelmed by relationship challenges. They are resilient and emotionally balanced, able to adapt and grow in relationships without being overly dependent or distant. Anxious attachment. Ambivalent. Those with an anxious attachment style often experienced inconsistent caregiving in their early years. Sometimes their caregivers were emotionally available and nurturing, while at other times they were distant or unresponsive. As a result, individuals with anxious attachment tend to fear abandonment and have difficulty trusting others. In adulthood, people with anxious attachment often seek constant reassurance from their partners and may feel insecure if they don't receive the validation they crave. They tend to overreact to conflict, perceive minor issues as major threats, and experience jealousy and possessiveness. Anxiously attached individuals often struggle to regulate their emotions. They may find themselves clinging to partners out of fear of losing them, which can create an unbalanced dynamic. While they crave closeness and intimacy, their fear of rejection can sometimes cause them to behave in ways that push their partner away. Avoidant attachment. Individuals with avoidant attachment typically had caregivers who were emotionally distant, unresponsive, or even critical. As a result, they learned to rely on themselves and avoid emotional vulnerability. Avoidant individuals often feel uncomfortable with emotional closeness and may struggle to connect deeply with others. In relationships, avoidantly attached people are often seen as distant, emotionally unavailable, or detached. They value their independence and may resist efforts to create intimacy, often pushing their partners away when they feel smothered or overwhelmed. Avoidant individuals tend to have difficulty expressing their emotions and may come across as cold or distant. They often suppress their feelings and prefer to solve problems on their own rather than seeking support from others. Their fear of being vulnerable can lead to a pattern of emotional withdrawal when conflicts arise. Anxious avoidant attachment. Disorganized. This attachment style results from caregivers who were chaotic, unpredictable, or even abusive. These individuals experience deep emotional conflict as they simultaneously desire closeness but fear getting hurt or rejected. Adults with anxious avoidant attachment may exhibit erratic behavior in relationships. At times, they may desperately seek emotional connection, while at other times, they may withdraw completely out of fear of being hurt or abandoned. Their relationships tend to be highly unstable, often swinging between intense emotional highs and deep lows. This can manifest as a pattern of on-again, off-again relationships where they vacillate between wanting closeness and pushing people away. Their emotional regulation is often poor, leading to impulsive reactions, emotional outbursts, and difficulty trusting others. How attachment styles influence romantic relationships. Attachment styles don't just affect our childhood, they influence how we interact with romantic partners as adults. Understanding your own attachment style, as well as the attachment style of your partner, can provide valuable insights into the dynamics of your relationship. For example, an anxious person may find themselves in a relationship with an avoidant partner, leading to a pursuer-distancer dynamic. The anxious person may constantly seek reassurance and emotional closeness, while the avoidant person may retreat, fearing emotional intimacy. This can create tension, confusion, and frustration for both parties, as neither person's needs are being fully met. Similarly, a securely attached individual will likely experience more balanced, harmonious relationships. They are able to communicate their needs openly, navigate conflict calmly, and maintain a healthy level of independence while remaining emotionally connected to their partner. However, attachment styles aren't fixed, and they can evolve over time. Through self-awareness, therapy, and personal growth, individuals can change their attachment patterns and form healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The twin flame journey and attachment styles. Now, let's address the question that many of you have likely been wondering. How do attachment styles relate to the twin flame journey? Twin flames are often described as two halves of the same soul, separated at the beginning of time and destined to reunite. This connection is considered to be more profound than any other relationship and is said to trigger spiritual awakening and growth. However, the dynamics of a twin flame relationship can also mirror attachment patterns, especially in the early stages. If one twin has an anxious attachment style and the other has an avoidance style, it's common to see the runner and chaser dynamic emerge. One twin may feel overwhelmed by the intensity of the connection and retreat, the runner, while the other may feel desperate for closeness and pursue the relationship, the chaser. This dynamic can create emotional turmoil, leading one twin to question whether the relationship is truly a twin flame connection or if they're simply dealing with an avoidant person. It's important to recognize that attachment styles don't dictate whether someone is a twin flame or not. Attachment styles are based on past trauma and learned behaviors, while twin flames are about deep spiritual connection and growth. The key distinction is that while attachment styles can influence how individuals interact with one another, the twin flame journey transcends these behaviors. The purpose of the twin flame journey is not to fix the other person's attachment style, but to facilitate mutual healing and awakening. Each twin must confront their own inner wounds and trauma in order to evolve spiritually. How to tell if you're dealing with a twin flame or an avoidant anxious dynamic? So, how can you tell if you're dealing with a twin flame or just someone with an avoidant or anxious attachment style? Here are a few key indicators. The runner and chaser dynamic. The runner and chaser dynamic is one of the hallmarks of twin flame relationships. However, this dynamic can also occur in relationships with anxious or avoidant individuals. The main difference is that twin flames are often deeply aware of the connection, even if they're running from it. An avoidant person, on the other hand, may run because they fear intimacy or have unresolved emotional wounds. Growth and transformation. True twin flames inspire each other to grow and evolve, even if this means going through periods of separation and emotional pain. If you notice that both you and your partner are actively working on personal growth, healing, and self-discovery, you might be dealing with a twin flame. An avoidant person, however, may resist change and stay stuck in unhealthy patterns without making any effort to grow. Spiritual awakening. One of the defining characteristics of a twin flame relationship is spiritual awakening. If the connection feels like it's leading you toward a greater understanding of yourself, your purpose, and your connection to the universe, you may be dealing with a twin flame. Avoidant or anxious individuals, while they may also be part of karmic relationships, typically do not offer the same level of spiritual awakening or transformation. Intense soul connection. The bond between twin flames is often described as indescribable, intense, and magnetic. It goes beyond physical attraction and touches on a deep soul-level connection. If you've never experienced anything like this before, it may be an indication that you're dealing with a twin flame. Moving beyond attachment labels. Focus on your own growth. Regardless of whether you're dealing with a twin flame, a karmic partner, or someone with an avoidant or anxious attachment style, the most important thing to remember is that your journey is about self-discovery and healing. It's easy to get caught up in the labels: twin flame, karmic, avoidant, anxious. But these labels are just a small part of the larger picture. The purpose of any relationship is to help you grow and evolve. Whether it's with a twin flame, a karmic partner, or someone with a particular attachment style, the key is to focus on your own growth. Healing your own wounds, developing self-love, and embracing your inner power will lead to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It's essential to prioritize your own well-being and make choices that align with your highest good. If a relationship is causing you emotional distress, regardless of whether the person is your twin flame or not, it's time to take a step back and reassess. You have the power to choose what's best for you, and your growth should always come first. Conclusion: the journey of self-awareness and healing. The twin flame journey is one of self-awareness, healing, and spiritual awakening. Attachment styles and trauma responses may shape how you interact with others, but they don't define who you are or limit your potential for growth. The most important relationship you can have is the one you cultivate with yourself. By focusing on your own healing, embracing your unique journey, and remaining open to the lessons that relationships bring, you'll be able to create the life and connections that align with your highest purpose. Remember, you are the universe in physical form, and your journey is about rediscovering the power within you. May you continue to grow, evolve, and shine brightly on your path.